Okay, so this is it after the wire brush. Didn't come up too bad. It's pretty tricky, and there was a lot of carbon build-up, so it was a little bit tricky to get out. I used the carby cleaner and degreaser together on some instances just to try and loosen it out. This took me approximately 40 minutes, which is a bit of time, but it needed to be done. I'm going to take out the valves, and then I'm going to go through and start using a bit of sandpaper to try and, there's some lines in here that I really want to smooth out. I did try just now actually before I'll turn this light off. I don't know if you can see, but there's a line that runs like that. I want to try and smooth that out. Try and get rid of some of, if you can see in here, there's a bit of texture to it. I'll try and smooth that out a bit and then polish it. And it should end up looking something like what I've got over here. Should end up looking something like that, which looks pretty good. Quite reflective and really nice. And that's what I'm trying to aim for. Now what I've got is a socket, a deep socket, doesn't matter though. And I'm just going to sit it on there, over around the circular part. Hang on a tick. Yeah, so around the circular part, and then I'm just going to give it a bash with the top of the socket, a bash with the hammer, and that should release the valve. There are special compressors where you can pull down and it pushes it down, controlled and nice, but I don't have one of those, and I'm doing this on a budget, so that's just how I'm going to be doing it. There's nothing wrong with that, just be careful, don't go too crazy with it. I prepared this earlier. I've just marked where my timing chain is. If you can see in the black pen, that's my timing chain. Then I've marked out my exhaust side and my intake side, and I'm going to be putting my valves in there just to keep them, I want to keep them all and put them all back where they came from. Now that wasn't very hard, that was the slightest tap. Now it might be a good idea to either get a magnet or a pair of long needle nose pliers, because there's little retainers in there which you'll see what they are. This is like the top piece that goes inside the thing, inside the spring. That's our little retainer there. Yeah, so that's our spring, and that goes on top and it gets locked in place with those retainers. Now when I go to put these back in, I might need to mock up some sort of spring compressor just to, you know, so I can put them back in, but I might find a dodgy way of doing it. But yeah, a valve's movable. That's another thing too. If you bash it too hard and it's still not coming out, the valve might actually hit what's underneath it. So it might be best to elevate it above a flat surface, or even put more rags or cushioning underneath it to soften the blow. This is after my 320 grit pass. Looking pretty decent. I did lose control a little bit and go around the outside here, but that's okay. I'm just gonna hit it up with a 400 now, and yep, keep going. That's the 400 grit. Gonna move on to 600. That's the hit with the 600. That's our 1200 grit done now. Turned out pretty well. Just gonna go through and polish it with some black rouge. This was just a hit with the black rouge on these three. This one was just the 1200. I haven't gone over it with the black rouge yet, just to give you a bit of a comparison. I'll try and turn this light off and see if I have a... Okay, that might be a little bit better. Might be a little bit hard to tell. You can tell in person that it's definitely a different surface, a different looking surface, but yeah, I'm going to go through black rouge that one and then white rouge all of them. Alright, so we're back. I'm going to try and get into it a bit today. It's been 3 weeks since I've done any work on anything, so it'd be really good to get back into it, try and keep motivated to do it. I mean, there's all the motivation in the world for me, it's just, I don't know, it's something that's stopping me from doing it. I can't put my finger on it. I think I just spend too much time in my own brain thinking about how good it's going to be that I just don't do anything, because I'm just fantasizing about the end project. So yeah, it's time to snap out of it and continue on. I do have a little bit of a dilemma though. I can't quite figure out what I should do now, because I did plan on obviously doing one stock engine and then a built engine, or a semi-built engine, but I picked up this one here. I'm not sure, I hope you can see. This is the one I've been working on. This is the newest addition to the project. Yeah, it's got 106 Ks on it, allegedly, but yeah, I'll take their word for it. I mean, it cost me $225 Australian, so I know that's pretty cheap, so that sort of sent the alarm bells ringing a little bit, but considering what I paid for this one, which I won't divulge to you now because you might have a heart attack. But yeah, so the issue I'm sort of having now in my own mind is that I don't plan on sleeving any of the blocks, especially not the one that's going to have the stock internals, but the one that has the forged internals later on, I'm going to leave the stock sleeves. But I'd like the one that has the forged internals to have the better sleeves, so I'm not sure which one to use now. So I wasn't going to put the forged internals in this one anyway. I was going to save that for once it was already in the car, and once I found an engine, I wasn't sure when I'd find one for a reasonable price. Sorry. So now, I was up to pulling off the sump and then crankcase and all that sort of gear, but now I'm not sure. I think I should just open that one up and just compare the cylinder walls, and just so I know which one I want to keep for the forge. But there's so many parts, like I'm not going to be pulling apart the head like I have, but there's still so many parts. and I really don't know what to do. I know I've got an idea, but I just don't know what to do. Whether I should just continue working on this one and just make this the forge one. But yeah, it's the dilemma that I'm facing. Yeah, it's got me in this state where I just like, oh man, maybe I should just stop and give up and pay some bloke to do it. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna yeah. I don't know. It's tricky. Like, I don't want to start a whole new thing. Like, jeez, it's crazy. I mean, yeah, that's, jeez, it's just so stupid. Such a dumb dilemma, I think. Like, I think I'm gonna put this one aside for now, and I'm gonna open that one up, just to take the head off it. There's so much work in there just to do that, and then I've got two engines at the same state of completion. I mean, that's good in the long run because I have to do it anyway. I don't have to because I can leave one stock and not worry about the polished head. But I really want that just because I think it's going to benefit it in some way. Oh man, I'm so lost. Oh, are you kidding me? I don't. Oh man, it's from an 05. It's probably not a bad thing, but there might be differences that I don't know about. That scares me, and that also explains the low kilometers. Damn, man. Better not. Oh, what should be the same as that then? Oh, that's alright. Crisis averted. It's the same as that one. That's an 03. It's in the same year, so whatever problems I have with that one, I'm gonna have with this one too. I've got both of my engines at the same point where the head's off, the pistons are exposed, sort of thing. But I've noticed this one here has much more wear on it than my other one. So this is going to be the one that I run stock. But however, the pistons in this one over here with less kilometers on it are in a lot better condition than these ones. I don't think it's the condition, it's just the condition like due to like wear and tear, like general stuff, but I think it's just these ones were a better cast. They've got different letters on them though. These ones have the letter Z on them and these ones have the letter K. I don't know if that's of any significance at all, but we'll find out. I've got to take these ones out anyway because they're going to be the forged CP pistons, but yeah, so I thought I might swap them over if they're in better nick anyway, so yeah, let's get started. These ones, got to take off the oil, pan, the sump. Yeah, they're a 10mm. There's 2 nuts, and how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then there's 10. I think that's 10. That's 9. Yeah, sorry about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's 9. Okay. 9 bolts and 2 nuts. Not too tight. This should be silicon down, so it's going to take some a bit of prying to get it off. But that's quite alright. It's no drama. Sump bolts. That's pretty loose now. It's probably still a little bit tacking it on down this end. I've stopped before. There we go. That should be all it takes to get it up. There we go. That's the inside there. It's, are you seeing this? That is a cigarette butt. How would that get into the oil? Yeah, that is definitely, without a doubt, a cigarette butt. I don't smoke or anything, but you see these everywhere on the streets, the filthy pricks just flicking wherever they like that. But yeah, I got caught up in this the strainer, or the, whatever it's called, that sucks it into the pump. It's got a strainer in there, so it's sort of like another filter, as well as that one. Yeah, that's pretty gross. That would have been stopping heaps of oil from getting through, because that, if you look at it, it's the perfect size to block that up, which I think it was doing. That might have even contributed to the stench that was coming from this engine. And the other one smelled similar, but not as bad as this one. Like, it might have been an entire cigarette. I doubt it, because that'd be even bigger than this, and I'm struggling to comprehend how that even got in there. I'm baffled. That's pretty gross. But yeah, so that's our sump off. That's pretty cool. It's very small, but that's fine. It's not an issue that it's small. Next, we're going to get off our little strainer here. There should be 3 bolts holding it on. I shouldn't need a deep socket for the ones here. I can't find the deep socket that I'd wire it off the frame. Oh, I can. Okay, don't worry. It's all good. No apologies needed. Yeah, so I'm just going to go and zap them off. And that one there. Comes off. I might get them all the way up. So there's 2 nuts and a bolt and a washer. I might take the flywheel off before I take anything else off. Yeah, hopefully I've got the right. These aren't a 12-point star piece like they need to be, but I might be able to get away with it. If not, I'm going to have to take a trip to Bunnings, which is what it's looking like at the moment. Jeez, that sucks. Alright, well, I'm going to go to Bunnings and get some shit. Okay, so I've got my 14mm deep socket, 12-point, 1/2 inch to 3/8, and then 1/2 inch into the 1/2 inch, and I'm set. I have made a mark. I'll make another mark actually with the paint pen, just to tell me where everything goes in the end. It shouldn't matter, but I'll do it anyway. So I'm going to put my little jig on. It's just 2 bolts, same as when I took the crank pulley off. The same setup I'm using. I still can't believe that cigarette butt. That should be enough to hold it. Hopefully it doesn't damage any thread anywhere. It should be okay though.